You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the reality model obsolete. 3 points of rebuttal today. First is, like the government said, that this thing will gonna lead you into the more, for example, like more the monopoly business happen. But we believe that by doing this, it will prevent the monopoly business. Because why? Because there will be competitions between the applications between the tech industry that stand alone and also the merger. And so far in status quo there is progressive, where more application or tech industry doing the merger also to make a better competition due to reaching the profit also. And they also said that by doing this merge and acquisitions it's not justified, but we know that this is only the way for you to solve the problem of the monopoly business. Because why? Because in here, let's understand that you can stand alone. So by the way you adapt is by stand with another application that also have the same purpose to compete. So that's why there will be a merger and acquisitions. What happened if the merger and acquisition is not happen? That I'm gonna emphasize later in my arguments. And thirdly, they also said about the monopoly business, but we agree that this thing is access. But on how the monopoly business will be solved in our sides by what? By the merger and acquisition itself panels. And I'm gonna emphasize it later in my arguments. And also, 2 points of disclaimer. First, the nature of company. We know that what is the company want to get. It is the profit oriented. And how they gonna get the profit oriented? And also, what is happening really right now in status quo, that there is the demanding from the society and also the customer itself to make an innovations inside of the applications. Inside of the applications, for the example, a new feature to fulfill and make more people and also to attract people by using these applications. And also they also need to keep the obligations of the consumer privacy. Because why? Because by doing this, privacy consumer will have their trust in your applications. By that way, it will make the more people use it because they keep your customer privacy. And what if the case of they are reveal the privacy, like the government said about the WA? It is not panels. Because why? Because at the end of the day, the WhatsApp finally still doing a clarification for not that they are not sharing the database itself. Because why? Because there will be chance of many people of the user will leave the application and going into another application, which harming and which also difference with the nature of the company itself. Secondly, about the tech development and strategy, we cannot deny that time by time technology will doing innovations, like for example, innovation from the inside of the tech industry itself, or the merger and acquisitions, where we know this as innovations, as adaptations to fight against big applications. And also that's why as long as there's a competitions, there will be another merger, like the example, because it's the demand of the competition itself for you to not losing loss and to attract more user due to the profit beneficiary. And right now, in status quo right now, Tokopedia and Gojek is doing the merger because they need to fight as Shopee as one of the biggest shopping applications. Like they are doing a massive advertiser and vice versa. And also that's why the Tokopedia and Gojek do the merger, because they can they need to be compete. And also right now in the status quo, there's more people who are already educated. For example, like the case of WA at finally WA doing verifications because the users are updated. And here, what is our solutions? Is we will keep and no regret, because it will also prevent the loss and adaptation of the industrializations, because it's the nature of the company itself to staying still and to compete. By that way, it will not make them fall on losing loss. What is our goals? Is we will prove to you that the merger and acquisitions is the choice to prevent the loss, and also there will be no harming of the privacy itself, and also why the privacy, it's also why this, even if there's privacy, it will still beneficiary for you. So here we come to my argument. Third argument, first is why it is justified to do a merger and acquisitions. Secondly, what happens if there is no merger and acquisitions. Thirdly, why they're still keeping the right of the consumer and labor. Fourth is what happened in the government side of the house, best scenario and worst scenario, and also so here we come on to my argument. First argument, we know that the way of them to do merger and acquisitions is the way of adaptations to a competitions where they find a biggest applications. By that way, they will not losing their loss or can compete and gain more profit, in which it becomes the nature of the company and the purpose of the company itself, and that can't we deny. And also, what, for example, like, can you know what happens if there is no merger and acquisitions? Both of the application will be lost, will be fall, because there is no attractions, because no one want to use this, because that's why they doing the merger. For example, like in the worst case, it can harm the labor, where they can get more revenue, where they can get more income, because the applications is losing their user, losing their income. By that way, it will also harming the user, the labor, the worker itself, and in the worst condition, it can make application become fall, because they can't follow the environment right now, because they want do these mergers and acquisitions. And also, it will finally harming for those who still using it, because finally at the end of the day there is no any kind of application, because they want to compete to merger and to acquisitions to both of the applications against the big applications. That's why there is example of the Tokopedia and Gojek is exist. And also when there is no more application and there is only one standing application, for example, there will be a monopoly business. Because why? Because it's only application that exists, because they don't want to do the merger. By that way, it will harming the segmentations of our economic, of our in the tech industry to become not to become developed, but to become disadvantage in this case. And also, we know that they also keep the rank of the customer itself, even if they are merger, as we know that before they are merger, they also keeping the secret of the consumer, even if it revealed in both of the merger, in both of the tech industry, but it still have a beneficiary. Because why? Because even if they are with the algorithm of you want, for example, like you want to buy things, and then it shows up in your Facebook, it also helping you, because you know, they know what you need, instead of you saying or search it is you and help you. And also, we believe that it's not really harming, because there is no cases of people becoming in danger just because this only because the privacy is lost and the privacy is revealed. But we believe that at the end of the day, this solution of the monopoly business can be solved in our side, because the merger and acquisition itself, where it prevents you the one standing applications and for the competition of the people, and it's justified because they have the nature of company to profit oriented and to keep the right of the user itself. So that's why we will proud to oppose this motion, and thank you.